welcome back to the Crafty Dancer. I know it's been a while, but I'm finally putting out another video. This one's actually going to be very special. It's going to be for the Children's Health Foundation. We do every year a little thing called Dancing for a Miracle. And what that does is it helps raise money for children in need as far as medical needs. And OU Children's Hospital, that's where all this money is going to go to. And the event is going to be in August, and we have all kinds of things that happen that night. I myself am going to be a part of it by being one of the pros that dance with a celebrity. My celebrity, her name is Heidi. I will give you the full name later, but her name is Heidi. She owns a couple of paving companies here in town. And her job is to raise the money. My job is to teach her how to do a dance routine. And then we perform it on August the 16th. So that's the deadline. And it's going to be a big show, great dinner, and then a lot of stuff going off for auctions. There's going to be a live auction and a silent auction. Now, what I've decided to do is I'm going to create 2 tables for the event to be auctioned off. And they're going to be just nice little end tables. So this is the base, and this is the top. Now I actually have 2 of them. So I'm starting with one, and I'm going to do the other one very similar. And what I'm planning on doing is using resin, and I'm going to be using dried flowers to create a real pretty tabletop. So follow along with me. Let's talk about what all I'm going to be using. Of course, I've got dried flowers. I will give you the link down below where I got the dried flowers on Amazon. I just ordered them. They came in. You have various sizes. These here are larger to smaller. So I'm going to be using in each table 2 to give it plenty of coverage. Now also, I'm going to be using 100% silicone because this top, the glass is the base. So I'm going to silicone in the glass, and that's going to secure it to the top so that I'll be able to do my pours without having any leaks. I'm going to be using Let's Resin to start with, all the way up to the final pour. The final pour will be tabletop Let's Resin to give it that really nice sheen on the very top of it. But to start off with, I'm going to be using my epoxy resin pigment paste. I'm going to start with a black base. So the very bottom will be black, and then I'll gradually build up with clear as I put my flowers in. So follow along. I hope you like this. These 2 tables will be auctioned off the night of the event, and I'm hoping to really get it. The tables themselves, I will tell you this, I got them from Hobby Lobby. They had them on sale, and of course everything I have here, I'm going to make sure that I put in the video in links so that if you decide you want to try it, go and get yourself one of these tables and give what I'm doing a try. So let's hope these tables raise lots of money. Now to start with, of course, what do we need to do? We got to clean our tabletop. Make sure it's nice and clean. So I've already done that. I've used my glass cleaner on the glass and a nice little paper towel. Now I'm going to pop it out and just set it off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and move the base down, give myself a little more working room. This is 100% silicone. So I've already cut my tube open. So what I'm going to do is start with right around here where the glass sets into. I'm just going to put me a nice bead all the way around. If I've got it open, there it goes. Now I'm not that concerned about it as far as showing because it really won't. Because of the black. But you want to make sure you get it full coverage all the way around. So this is going to take me a minute, so I'll speed it up for you. Now, okay, I didn't speed it up, but I wanted to explain
a little something here while I'm using the going around and putting all the sealant on there. My wife is actually holding the camera right now, so I apologize for it being a little shaky. I had lost the piece that goes to my tripod and ordered a new one, so later on in the videos you'll see it's a lot more steady, but she did a great job and I really appreciate her helping me to do this video. In the meantime, just keep watching.
Okay, now I've got the silicone all the way around. I'm going to take my finger and just kind of get a nice even move all the way around it, because I want this to be fully sealed. There we go. And now we just take our glass and we just set it down in there. And give it a little press. Okay, now we have to wait. So for me, it's going to be tomorrow before I'm able to continue on. For you, it'll be just a few seconds. So I'll see you soon. Thank you. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and the 100% silicone that I put on there, and I did it for both tables because I'm going to try to do both at the same time to gradually get things going a little quicker here. So my 100% silicone says it takes 30 minutes to be ready for water, so I'm assuming that also means resin. So we can go ahead and make our first pour. Now, before we do that, we want to make sure that we are perfectly level. So I've already leveled this one. I am good this way and this way, so it looks good. Now, how I did that is a couple of popsicle sticks on one side, because my countertop here in the kitchen is sloped in toward the sink, which is where you want your countertop, so it's got a slight out of level. So this way, it brings it back to level. Now, you'll notice I've also made sure I'm protecting my counter by putting black trash bags underneath, which doesn't affect my top. Now, this way is slightly off, so I'm going to lift up this side and slip my popsicle sticks in underneath, and it brings it up to perfectly on the bubble. So I am ready now to set up for pour. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am using Baltic Bay pigment paste to do the first coat, and I'm going to go with Abyss Black. I want it nice and black. So when I pour, that's what I'm going to be using. Now, my resin is a 1-to-1 ratio by volume, not by weight. Now, I've done it by weight, and I've never had a problem with it, but this time I want to make sure everything is perfect, so I'm going to do it by volume. And of course, as I said before, I am using my favorite resin to use is Let's Resin. It just seems I have not had any issues with it, and it's non-toxic as far as fumes goes. I can use it inside the house, and I don't smell anything. So it's really, really good to use. I like Let's Resin. It is not, I'm not being endorsed by them. I don't have enough viewers to get sponsors. So this is just me saying it's what I like to use. Same thing with all the stuff I'm doing. Now, I will also give you a full breakdown of cost at the end of the video on what it costs to make these. So I will be back shortly, and we will continue on with a pour. And I've got 2 to go and mix up, and I'm going to put them in my vacuum chamber, get out all the bubbles, and then we'll get the pour going. So be back shortly. All right, we are ready for our first layer. And of course, the first layer is going to be black, and I've decided to go with 20 ounces in each one. And I've used my Black Abyss Baltic pigment paste. So now the fun part is just pouring it in. So we're going to start with this one here. Let's hope we're good. Let's see, make sure you get anything dusty off. Get all your trash out of there. Looks good to me, so we're going to just start pouring. Now it's not completely black, it is a little, just slightly translucent, but I think that will give me just enough. And as you can see, 20 ounces doesn't go too far. But it will spread all the way to the edge, which is what we want. Now I have scraped as I mixed, so I can get all my resin out of my cup. Pour it in there. There we go. There's that one. And now we're just going to make sure we get all the way to the edge. Now I like to pour in layers because what that does for me is it allows me to not have lines in it, even though this one, it really doesn't matter as much as far as lines go. Because once it's all, you're not going to see the edge. But we do want to make sure we get all the way to the edge. This will also tell the tale if we are going to leak or not without doing a big pour, which is why I'm not using deep pour, because I want to layer it. There we go. Now we'll do this one. All the dust out of there. Got a couple of fingerprints there. There we go. Let's go ahead and do this one. And of course I put it through my vacuum chamber. That's why you're not seeing a lot of bubbles. Vacuum chamber has improved my pores as far as the amount of bubbles I have tremendously. Now that's not to say you won't get some, but you greatly reduce your amount of bubbles when you have a vacuum chamber. Now I've just seen a fly flying around, so I'll have to keep my eye on this. Because for some reason flies and gnats really love to get in your stuff. Clean off my stick. There's a gnat. Go away. Now the nice part about this not being in a mold is I can get all the way to my edges. Just don't burn your wood. I got just a little piece of trash in there. I'm going to get that out. Not that it will matter that much. because it's going to be a garden table. With lots of pretty flowers. Okay, so that is essentially the first pour. Now I have to wait probably about 45 minutes and let it start setting up a little bit. And of course I'm going to keep doing this. Keep getting rid of all those little micro bubbles that appear. And once I get started, I'll put the camera more onto just one of these so you can see how I place the flowers. So I'm going to do it in layers. Okay. Now we'll let that go. So I'll see you in just a few seconds.
Well, unfortunately, I seem to have forgotten to turn on the microphone for these next couple of sections. So I'm going to try to just explain to you what I'm doing. Now here what I'm starting to do is I'm going to start placing the flowers, beginning with the stems. And the first thing you want to do is start with your stems and then your leaves. Kind of give yourself a little base to go off of. After you do that, you want to start placing some flowers. Now I'm just going to place a few to start with and then let that set up, pour some more resin, and then I'll let that set up a little bit more and then place a few more flowers because I want it to have depth. So I'm going to be building upon this as I go. And I'll explain more as I see I need to. But for now, enjoy. Okay, right about here is when I started talking with my wife and we were looking at it and we decided, you know, there's just not enough flowers. And I guess a woman can never have too many flowers, so we're going to add some more flowers here. So I started off with just 2 packs each table, and instead I added a 3rd pack to each table. So that's a total of 6 packs of those dried flowers. So gonna put on a little more music for you and let you keep enjoying.
All right, it's finally that time. As you can see, I've pretty well filled it up. It's not quite to the top yet. Well, now what I'm going to use is my tabletop epoxy. This is the top coat. So I've got already mixed it and put it through my vacuum chamber to get all the bubbles out that I could. I've got one for each one of my little projects here. I'm doing about 20 ounces. We'll see how far that goes, if that fills it up or not. So let me go ahead and get to pouring here. I want to get it all the way to the edge. And I'll lift my stir stick on the other side. And once again, I've done all my scraping as I was mixing. So I should be able to get all of this out and it'll be just fine. There we go. Got a few bubbles there. See if we can knock those out. Now we'll
just spread it all the way to the edge. It looks like I got it pretty close. We'll see once it evens out. Let me move this off to the side so you can see better. Alright, luckily I got some right here. I can go ahead and mix up some more if I need to for the other side. Let's go ahead and get this all filled in without overflowing, preferably. There we go. Just kind of coaxing these bubbles up to the top. Some hanging out here on the sides. So as you can see, this has been an all-day project, going layer by layer, working it all the way up to the final top layer, and it looks like it's there. I'm going to go ahead and add a little more to this one. I want it right just to where it's doming a little bit, and then I can sand it down and get it nice and even with the top, and we'll be good. It looks like it's about there. There we go. Pop any bubbles we might have. Sometimes you got to coax them up just a hair. And you got to watch out for any little bits of trash that might be in there. Now, on the surface, it really won't matter too much if I get a little bit of trash in there, because I'm going to be able to get them cleared out when I sand. But the less I have, the better. And there we have the final coat, all the way to the top. So I will check in with you guys in the morning. This will be set up in the morning. I will have to wait at least a day or so. Give it a little more time to fully cure up so that I can get a good sand on it. And it's well on its way. That's the main thing. Now, I might end up adding something to the bottom, depending on how it looks on the bottom. It looks pretty clear, so I may want to turn it over and add some more on the bottom, just to get rid of that is a piece of trash that's in there, and I'm not getting that up. This is why it's important to catch it when you can. But luckily it's a lot of flowers, dried flowers. You're going to have little stuff like that in there. Biggest thing we don't want are big bubbles, which it doesn't look like I have any. It looks pretty good to me. So we're going to finish getting this thing done tonight. I got this other one I have to add a little board to and finish it up. So I will see you guys in the morning, which will be just a couple of seconds for you, but I need to sleep. All right. Well, as you can see, I've already flipped them over. The reason for that is I wanted to see what it looked like on the other side, and it's not quite dark enough. That first layer of black wasn't dark enough. It was kind of, you could see through it. It was a little more translucent than I wanted. And so I've already done one. I'm going to be pouring more black, but I'm mixing it. I've got my black Baltic Day, it's black pigment paste, but I'm mixing it with some black alcohol ink and some silver black satin mica powder. And what that does is it gives me a really, really interesting look to it, and I think it just will highlight it. Now I've already mixed it and got everything vacuum chambered. It's all got all the debubbled done, and now I just need my stick to pour it all on. This is another 20 ounces. I've got a nice thick area here that I can pour it into, and it shouldn't go all the way to the top, but it comes close. So we're just going to pour that in on the bottom so you'll see it from the top. Now we are very, very close to being done, except for all the sanding. Yes, that's right. There's going to be a sanding video along with this to show the full, everything it takes to do one of these tables. All right, now we're going to make sure we get it all the way to the edge. I know it will flow to the edge, but I want to go ahead and push it all the way up there. And now I'm just going to stir it in. Give me a little design on it. And there we have it. Now I'll use my my torch and just start popping bubbles. Now, of course, I don't have to worry about leaks because that is already sealed. And there we have it. So now I'll just let this go, and we'll kind of watch and see what happens to it. In the meantime, once again, I'll remind you, if you enjoy this video, please give a like. And if you're learning anything and you'd like to share it with some other people, please do that. That only helps me grow. I've just started this channel not long ago, and I'd love to see it grow and get bigger. I'm getting about close to 60 subscribers, and I would love to see that go over 100. So help me out. Click the like, hit subscribe, and share it, because that will definitely help. And
We'll see when we get done with the whole thing and we get ready to sand. So. Okay, well, I finished the bottoms of them, and now they are sitting on top of their bases. They're not glued on. As you can see, the bottom is nice and coated. Looks good and has totally set up. This is actually the next day. So, in all told, to do all the pouring took me one full day. So from starting early in the morning all the way to basically 10, 11 o'clock at night is when I finally finished the last pour, which was on the bottom. And I gotta say, putting the black on there really made these stand out. So now the next step is to take and sand the top to where it's nice and even with the wood going around it. Now right now in some places the pour was a little high and some places slightly low. So it wasn't exactly level, I guess, but when I get done sanding, it will be completely level. It's very hard. I should be able to start sanding. I'm thinking later today because it's pretty well set. So we'll see how it goes. But there are two of them, and these are for Dancing for a Miracle. It is for the Children's Health Foundation. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and the OU Children's Hospital is what this is for and where it's going. We have been doing this event for 16, 17 years now, and I've been part of it for the last 9, maybe 10 years at this point. And done lots of the various events, performed quite a few times. Did manage to take second place last year. Looking for a first place still. We'll see. My partner's doing a great job raising money, and it's going to help, and I hope that these will help raise some money as well. Now, I will post a link for you in this video to where you can actually go and see what the Children's Health Foundation is all about, and maybe even if you want to take and make a donation, you'll look for Heidi and of course myself. That's who you would, I like to see who you would donate to, is to us, and help out the children. It is truly a really great event and great charity for these kids on what they get as far as the care given, the type of service to not just the children but to their parents as well, and it's really good. So feel free to click the link and take a look at it, and if it's something that you could take and do a donation for, please by all means do so. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get this video edited so that I can get it posted and maybe even start raising some money from it. If you did make a donation, be sure to let me know in the comments. This will be posted on YouTube and Facebook. So let's do this.